Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you could join me. Today we're going to unpack something truly amazing in the Quran. It's this perfect three-verse argument about how we should view our life, our death, and even our wealth. It's like a chain of logic, just so seamless and powerful. It can totally reframe how we see the world. Okay, you ready? Let's dive right in.
But first, let me ask you something. It's a question people have been asking since the beginning of time. When it's your time to go, can you really truly escape your destiny? Just let that sink in for a second, because the Quran kicks off this whole powerful lesson with a really dramatic, real-world answer to that very question. So our journey starts with this incredible story in verse 243 of Surah Al-Baqarah. And, this isn't just a metaphor or a parable. It's presented as something that actually happened, and it's designed to teach us a lesson we'll never forget about where power, real power, truly lies.
The Quran asks us to really think about this story, to consider it deeply. Just try to picture it, thousands upon thousands of people, a whole community, just up and leaving their homes. And what was driving them? One thing, the fear of death. But then, with a single, powerful divine command, Allah shows that His authority over life and death is absolute, and there's just no running from it.
You can really see this whole thing playing out in three acts. First, there's the flight. Now, commentators say they were probably fleeing a plague, or maybe an invading army. Whatever it was, they thought they could outrun their fate. Then comes the second act, the divine decree. Die. It's so stark, so powerful, it just shows that our plans mean absolutely nothing against His will. But the story doesn't end there, in tragedy. It leads to this amazing final act, the revival, where every single one of them is brought back to life.
So what's the big takeaway here? The story isn't just about a jaw-dropping miracle, it's about cementing a fundamental truth. Life and death, that belongs to Allah and Allah alone. Trying to run away from His decree, it's just futile. And yet, the verse ends on this kind of sad note, but most of the people do not show gratitude. Can you believe that? Even after seeing a sign that huge, we humans, we forget so easily.
And this is where the Quran makes this absolutely brilliant logical turn. Okay, so if running from death is pointless because our fate is already written, then how are we supposed to live, right? Should we just be cowering in fear our whole lives? Or should we stand for something that matters, trusting that our appointed time will come no matter what we do? This question sets the stage perfectly for the very next verse.
So let's follow this train of thought. We've just established this huge truth. Allah is the only one in control of life and death. Now, let's look at the next link in the chain, because the Quran presents the profound, totally logical consequence of believing that.
Do you see the logic? It's amazing. This isn't just some random command dropped out of nowhere. It's a conclusion. It's saying, because life and death are in His hands, you should never let the fear of dying stop you from standing up for what's right, from fighting in His cause. The bedrock of true courage is being certain of His decree.
And then the verse ends with this really powerful reminder, Allah is hearing and knowing. Now, why is that so important? Well, because He hears all the excuses we whisper to ourselves to avoid making a sacrifice. And He knows the real intentions hidden in our hearts. He knows who's sincere and who's just afraid. It's a call for total honesty in everything we do.
And this right here, this is the absolute pillar of the whole argument. Verse 243 gives us the proof you can't escape death. Verse 244 gives us the logical conclusion. So don't be afraid of it when you're acting for a purpose greater than yourself. See? The fear is actually illogical once you accept the first part. But believe it or not, the argument still isn't done. It moves from sacrificing our lives to sacrificing something we often hold just as tight.
And now, here we are, at the third and final link in this beautiful logical chain. The Quran shifts gears from the sacrifice of our very selves to the sacrifice of our possessions, but it's framed not as a loss, but as the single greatest opportunity you could ever imagine.
I mean, just listen to that. What a stunningly beautiful invitation. It's not a demand, it's a question, and it's filled with honor. Who is it? Who's going to be the one to step up and take part in this incredible deal? And get this, notice the language, alone. The giver of everything, the owner of all wealth, is asking for a loan from us. So what is a goodly loan? Well, it means spending from the good, pure, hard-earned wealth you have for things that please Him. Helping the poor, supporting the community, standing for justice. And the reason it's called a loan is to give us 100% certainty. Think about it. When you give someone a loan, you expect to get it back. Here, Allah is guaranteeing that He'll pay us back, not just the original amount, but with an unimaginable profit on top.
You know, in another verse, the Quran says the return can be like one single seed that grows into 7 stalks, and on each stalk there are 100 more seeds. I mean, do the math. That's 700 times what you put in. And Allah says He multiplies it even more for whoever He wills. This isn't Wall Street finance. This is divine economics, where giving is actually the only true way to gain.
And this is just a complete shift in thinking, isn't it? Our default human logic says when I spend money, it's gone, it's a loss. But the divine logic we're being shown here completely reframes it. Giving sincerely is the ultimate investment. It even changes how we think about ownership. My wealth isn't really mine. It's a trust from Allah, and He's showing me the absolute best way to invest it.
Okay, so now let's step back and put all the pieces together. Let's look at this magnificent 3-verse argument in its full, unbroken form. It is truly a masterclass in divine logic.
It's just so clear and so powerful when you see it all at once. First, you get the reality check. You don't control when you live or die, so stop trying to run from it. Second, you get the logical consequence. If you can't escape death anyway, then don't let fear of it stop you from doing what's right. And third, the ultimate opportunity. Apply that same exact logic to your money. Giving it for His sake isn't losing it, it's investing it with the one who guarantees the best returns. Life, courage, and charity, it's all perfectly connected.
And so I want to leave you with this question to really reflect on. If we truly deeply internalize this lesson, the idea that our lives and our wealth are not really our possessions but are a trust from the divine, how would that change everything? How would it change the choices we make, big and small, every single day? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Peace be with you.